Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of the Intentional Wisdom Podcast. I'm your host, Greg Campion, and I'm psyched to be back. It's been a little while since our last episode, so delighted to be joined today by Jon Finkel. Jon is a repeat guest and one of my favorite people to talk to, interact with on social media, etc. If you don't know Jon, he is an author. He has written some awesome books like 1996, a personal favorite of mine that recounts that amazing year, especially from a sports perspective. He wrote this Macho Man Randy Savage biography over the last year, and he's just got a ton of great stuff. He's written for Men's Health, Muscle and Fitness, all kinds of magazines. Known as the world's most sophisticated meathead, he is the author of the weekly Biceps and Books email newsletter that is a staple, and I know he's got thousands of people that read that every week. So anyways, in this conversation, we talk a lot about middle age. So Jon and I are the same age, 47. We talk a lot about different aspects of kind of tackling middle age and succeeding in middle age, not just in career, but across all facets of life. And I've been thinking a lot more lately about the different facets of life, about health and fitness, about relationships, and about career and how it all fits together. And Jon and I talk a lot about that. I think he's doing a fantastic job in all aspects of middle age. And so we get into the weeds on health and fitness, in particular, some of his athletic pursuits at middle age, including taking up competitive swimming again. We talk a lot about weightlifting routines. And then we get into things like parenting, career, etc., vacation tips, the whole nine. So this was a really fun conversation. I loved it. Sometimes you get to the end of the conversation in some of these episodes and you're like, I don't know, was that good? Was it not good? This one I got off it. I was like, that was awesome. So I hope you think so too. Before you go, remember to subscribe to my newsletter every week, Intentional Wisdom, gregcampion.substack.com. Thanks for all the emails back. I love writing it every week, and it's so fun to engage with so many of you guys. And keep the emails coming. Like, it's so cool to hear from folks on a weekly basis, and particularly when a topic really resonates with you. So let me know when that's the case. Otherwise, enjoy this episode with Jon Finkel. All right, here we go. The man, the myth, the legend, Jon Finkel is here. Jon, welcome back to the podcast.
I appreciate that intro. I always say that that's guaranteed way to start, and I don't even pay you for it anymore. I used to just make people say it, but now you say it, so it just works.
I love it. Hey, listen, you're the first repeat guest on this podcast, which is exciting.
Friend of the program.
Yeah, exactly. Friend of the pod. I was looking, I was like, when did I interview Jon last? And it was actually like March 2022. So,
oh wow, that's a long time ago.
We've known each other for a little while now.
Yeah.
Man. So like, I think I told you when I was trading messages with you, like I've been kind of bad at focusing on my podcast lately. I've been like kind of heads down on the newsletter and all other aspects of life. But and I'm kind of like, all right, I think I gotta get going with the pod again, but I kind of want to just do it like with friends and like, just kind of talk about, just kind of shoot the shit with friends basically. And so that's kind of what I was thinking about. But got some specific stuff I want to ask you about. But like, how's the summer going and all that?
Summer's good. We're in Florida. Summer starts early and ends early. So the kids actually go back to school like the second week in August. So we're already down to under a month left. We did all our trips already, and the camps are done. So now it's kind of like the actual, I guess, I don't know, the old dog days. Now it's like we're just kind of, I hate to say waiting for school because that's not what everybody's doing. We have a lot of cool stuff on weekends and stuff planned. But from the kids' perspective, like, all the fun trips they were looking forward to that we had planned are done. My daughter and my wife have a cool trip down to the South Beach for a couple of days. It's fun, but like all the big stuff is the next big thing for them is school stuff.
Yeah. I want to come back to your trips because you seem to be a master of vacation planning, and we've got a big Northeast trip coming up. I wanna chat it up with you a little bit about. But what I was hoping to talk about was I've been kind of thinking about a lot lately about this idea of like balance, especially in middle age, and thinking about like, you got everybody, who's roughly our age. So I think I'm 47. I think you're roughly the same age. Yeah. So
We look good, I should say. We both look
right.
very
I mean,
good.
so yeah. So anyways, like I feel like this age, like you got a bunch of balls up in the air that you're trying to like keep up there. Like I think of it as in three categories: health and fitness, relationships, which I include all kind of family oriented stuff within that, and then career, right? Um, and I think from the outside looking in, it looks like you're doing a pretty damn good job kind of keeping these balls up in the air and kind of balancing these things. So I want to talk about that. I think like anybody who's roughly our age, I see a lot of the struggles that like people our age have. And like, I see some of my friends getting out of shape, and I see people getting, maybe too extreme on the career side and, ignoring, some of the other stuff or vice versa. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about just, some of these kind of parts of your life and how you're kind of managing to like keep a balance and keep, you seem to like do a pretty good job, like taking a lot of this stuff kind of in stride as well. So, let's start with health and fitness, if you're good with that.
Yeah.
I know you have been described as maybe the most sophisticated meathead in the world.
I listen, as the head of the sophisticated Meathead Books and Biceps crew.
Yes,
that is bestowed upon me. Yes, an unofficial honor. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. So talk to me just a little bit about your overall philosophy on health and fitness, and then I want to get into like some of the specifics of what you do. Because like you appear to me via social media, and we haven't met in person, but like seems like you're in pretty damn good shape, and you kind of got this part of your life under control. So talk to me about how you're doing that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate all of that. I mean, I think the number one thing overall that I was blessed with, I think, is just a chill disposition. I've noticed as we get older, people become more and more kind of who they are, more and more like their parents. They say that they're not going to be this way and whatever it is. And as we get into our 40s and 50s, I realize that some of what allows me to kind of do some of the things you mentioned at a very relaxed pace and the way I come up is I didn't practice to be relaxed. It's one of, some of us are born with analytical minds, and some of us are born with the ability to see the big picture or to grind or whatever. And if there's a little thing I've realized as I get older that I totally took for granted, and definitely caused issues when I was in my 20s for like just kind of being whatever. But like as I get older and all those balls you mentioned are in the air, having a very just my natural disposition being like very laid back. I have to kick myself in the ass a while, as all of us have wives have to kick you in the ass sometimes about some getting certain things done. But like really helps you see the big picture, and that goes back to your question of if you don't have your health, nothing else matters.
Mm-hmm.
I've believed that since I was 25, and that again helps. I think enjoying sports, enjoying exercise, enjoying working out, playing basketball regularly, playing, volleyball when I lived in LA regularly, swimming regularly. If you just build those habits in your 20s and your teens, even in college, and you don't stop, there's really no decision to be made, right? So sometimes when I have these discussions, I'm like, well, the secret is I didn't stop. I just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You all played. I have so many friends like you probably just mentioned who we all used to pick up hoops together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I still play pickup hoops twice a week. And you talk to these guys who live out of shape and they're like, I haven't played in 10 years. Well, it's a very simple answer.
Yeah.
I didn't stop. And so to me, the three check categories you mentioned are fantastic and they matter, but none of the other ones, your career is useless and your relationships are worthless in terms of your enjoyment and fulfillment of anything if your health sucks.
Yep.
And we all can't control shit that happens. Lightning strikes. 2 weeks ago, I was at a funeral. My best friend's brother, pancreatic cancer, 6 months, gone.
Geez.
Like, we all know these stories. We all have them in our families, in our lives, in our friends or ancillary friends. So to me, it's insane to not control what you can control. And I'm not a nut. I eat pretty good, but also not, Sundays and pizza and burgers. But like for the most part, when I'm home, I eat whatever, very healthy. And the fitness stuff is just a non-negotiable thing with me. It's not a decision because it's not a decision. There's no choice to me. You either feel like shit and don't work out and get older at an accelerated rate and we have to do less things and enjoy your life less. or you keep doing all the stuff that allows you to play, just as we just talked about, an hour and 20 minutes of one-on-one basketball at 47. Hard. Do swim practice last night for an hour, like a good solid workout training for a meet in 3 weeks. So that's kind of my overall, and I can get into specifics. But the reason that matters is because it's the only thing that matters, right? If you have, what's that phrase is, if you have your health, then you have a million problems. If you don't have your health, you have one problem.
Yeah, exactly. A sick man is a healthy man, like, has a million problems or wants a million things. A sick man, like, wants one thing, basically.
Yeah, that's it.
I totally agree with that. I've been thinking a lot about this lately, and because I'm like, I have a little side project going on where I'm thinking about consolidating a bunch of my intentional wisdom articles I've written over the past years into something more substantial. Maybe it's a framework for a book. But I've been thinking about like these 3 verticals, but that's the way you described it is exactly how I've been thinking about it too, is like this one vertical, the health and fitness, is almost more like a foundation, like, for everything else, because it enables you to do everything else. So yeah, let's get into like a little bit of tactical, because I know, you do an awesome job sharing stuff on social media. Like, I follow you on Twitter, X, and have done for a long time. And like, I know it's always, what is it? What do you call it? It's
Bench
like
o'clock Monday.
Yeah, bench o'clock Monday. Exactly. Yeah. So bench o'clock Monday. So I know, like, you're like, you post pictures of the Flex Factory, your garage gym. And so talk to me about, like, how do you think about, is there anything are you like putting together like a tactical plan, like, every week in terms of your weight training? Let's start to, like, what does the week look like, I guess?
Yeah, so everything shifts for me. I find that you're very, very bored if you don't train for something. And it could simply be a bench press max or a 5K time. Doesn't matter. I don't even care what it is. I mean, I just find that when I talk to guys who aren't doing anything, or, cardio sucks, or, I hit the gym a few days a week, and I say, for what? Now, now it is fine to just train to stay in shape. I'm not all saying like you need some major goal. My goal is that I want to feel good. Fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But it doesn't prevent it from being boring.
Yeah.
I've found. And so about a year and a half ago, and part of this is getting older and my kids being older allow me to do that. My favorite thing, the thing that I'm definitely best at athletically, is swimming. I was a swimmer growing up in high school, and I started a little bit at college, and then I did a lot of ocean swims when I lived in California, like competitions, 1 mile, 2 mile ocean swims. And then, like everything else, had kids. There's just no time to go to swim practice 3-4 days a week when you have little kids and you're coaching, and they can't be left alone. So you're always trading the baton with your wife of, okay, I have to be home here, you're gonna be home there, and there's just no way to do that.
Yep.
So the biggest switch that I made sort of midlife was about a little over a year ago. I finally joined a master's team again, where I wanted to compete again. I wanted to go to meets. I wanted to have a coach putting me through practices, and I was mentally in my head committing to at least 3 days a week of swim practice. Now, I know a lot of guys do. Most of the people who sort of swimming do 5, but for me, 3 is good. I play basketball. I want to do other things. I don't like just majoring in one thing, because then that's the fastest way for me personally to stop wanting to do that.
Yeah.
Is if I go all in on swimming, like, hey, look, I'm not going to play hoops, not going to lift like I used to. I start resenting that thing for doing that. So I realized ahead of time, intentionally, Tuesday night, Thursday night, Sunday mornings are good. And sometimes my daughter always assumes me, I'll go Saturday too. So 3 or 4 days a week. But the key was to start training for stuff. So all that is to say that informed some of my lifting a little bit. I know we have whatever. I'm 5'11", and when I lift heavy, I can easily get to 200, 205, which is way too meaty and bulky for a swimmer. I mean, I can't go into a 100 fly or a 50 fly against these 6'1", 170-pound albatrosses. Just this clunky ass meathead trying to get down the floor, right? Yeah. So last year I switched up some of my lifting to a little bit lighter weights, higher reps. So I had previously been doing a lot of I would do 5x5 almost to start every year to get to the nuts and bolts. Almost every year I would do, for probably 10 years, I would start back up at the 5x5 program, which is 5 sets of 5 bench, 5 sets of 5 squat, 5 sets of 5, and then there's a rotating either deadlifts or standing military press. Very simple, but it's
pretty heavyweight if you're doing
very heavy. You're doing close to max. So if you're doing 5x5, you probably can't get 7, let's just say, of the weight that you're doing.
Yep.
It's high volume, but it's a good reset if you're not lifting, and you can do it 3 days a week, 2 days a week, 1 day a week. But if you're really trying to gain strength, so I would try to get keep my bench over, over 305, 315 if I could. Obviously a little harder as I got older just from age and you end up traveling and work and whatever.
Mhm.
But I found that if I did that the first 3 months every year, by the spring, my bench is back over 305, 315, and all the other stuff would fall into shape. But I realized with swimming, 315, tight-chested dude is for butterfly, had no rotation, no flexibility. So like I said, I've gone much more like kind of wider grips, slower reps, but higher weight to kind of, slower reps and lighter weight to kind of keep the range of motion and all that. So the week is very simple. I lift Monday heavy, still to me heavy. So I do bench. It's a push day basically, bench, shoulders, tries. Then I do legs, which is a whole separate thing. But agility and mobility basically drives almost everything I do. And I'll do a little sidebar, which I think will be good for guys our age. So
Yeah,
I
please.
found last year I joined the swim team. I'd been swimming 1 or 2 days a week on my own, but not with a team, not with practicing, not with 25-year-olds who can kick my ass up and down the pool, not with a coach barking at you to get the times in and working on your stroke. So it took me a couple of months to get really in swimming shape where I could go to practice and work on the practice, not fight my way to survive and take a 20-second time out, little these sets so I can puke. Like, took a bit for that. So I trained, and I planned on my first meet was like 4 months after my comeback. And so we're about on a Wednesday before the meet. My coach is like, "Hey, when was the last time you dove like off a starting block?" And I was like, I don't know, 18, 17, 18. And she's really cool, like this tough lady. She's like, "Well, why don't we work on that? Like, I'm sure it'll come back." And so I get up on the block, and I can't touch my toes because I'm a meatheady, like a rickety lawn chair. And I'm like, foot, not like I'm close. I'm a good foot. Like, I'm doing the thing where like I'm like loosening my lower back and getting my chin down and doing basically like a revert, like a deadlift. I'm not even close. I'm bending my knees and then I'm squatting down awkwardly and she's laughing. All the guys, they're like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I just let my mobility and agility drop. Embarrassing to be like, you can't. I haven't been to a meet in so long, but like there's guys in the team ranging from 25, 26 to there's an 82-year-old guy who used to be a record holder in the 100 fly in like the 60s. And he's jumping off the block pretty good, right? And I'm like, I can't go to a meet to be like this. So I had a couple of days to work on stretching, but it didn't really help. So my meet was kind of a mess. Flip turns were a mess. I hadn't really focused on that. And so I found this knees over toes program.
I've heard of that.
Literally been a quality of life changing thing. That I now do Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Tuesday, Thursdays, I do the full thing, and Saturdays, I kind of just do what I call like my little greatest hits, like 20 minutes of just these exercises.
Is that a weight training thing? Or is it like
it's weighted and it's flexible. It's weighted flexibility is the best way to put it. It's the only thing that's ever worked for me. So prior to this program, like I couldn't put my shoes on in like a normal way. Like, I don't know how you are. I know you're a tall guy. I think I've heard you measured. Like, I'd sit down to like, just casually put my shoes on. And you see that test online where can you stand on one foot and bend down and put your shoe on? And these were just laughably no goes for me.
Interesting. That is interesting because you're so like muscled.
Yeah.
But it is kind of interesting. Like, where I notice some of this is like if I sit on the floor and like sometimes some of the workouts I'm doing, there'll be like a stretch like this. If I sit on the floor and I like put my legs out in a V-shaped position, like a lot of times as like video workouts that I'm doing, they can like just bend over and like put their hands on the floor like way in front of them. And I'm like, it sounds like a little bit kind of like what you is like, I'll bend over. It's like, it only goes like 3 inches this way. I'm like, I don't go further than this. Yeah.
Dude, I did all these like baseline tests. One of them is the basic, the V sit and reach like from high school. And I would get maybe 4 inches to my toes and just my back's just locking up, right? There's no flexibility there.
Yeah.
And then one of the baseline workout there is a split squat that you do, but it's like body weight. You start with like 1 foot on a bench and you work your way down all the way to, increase the angle to go flat, starting with no weight, then, 5 pounds of each hand, 10 or whatever. And with no weight, using a bench as like my cheat thing, I couldn't do a full split squat with like 1.5 foot giving me off the ground. Like, it was bad. Yeah. And I never thought about it because in my head, I'm like, bro, did 310, bench of 310
Yeah,
at 45.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm fine. Like,
Right.
I'm playing basketball, but I'm barely, I'm not, I'm touching the bottom of the backboard. Not really. I'm just kind of overcompensating on everything.
Yeah.
And now it's crazy, dude. Like, it's doing that has changed every other thing that I do. I can like flat hands on the floor for like those V-sits. I can easily grab like I can go V-sit when I'm a little warmed up and like put my full flat hand on my feet, like all the way across. We just played like I can grab the rim again, like out of nowhere. I wasn't even trying to do that. That just came because now I'm up to like 50 pounds on these split squats and all that. So to get back to what your question was, like I removed a lot of other things. I was running 5Ks every other day. I was doing all this stuff just to do it. But now it's heavyweights Monday. I do knees over toes Tuesday mornings, which takes about 45 minutes. And it's heavy, but the heaviest weights are 25-pound dumbbell. It's not like crazy weights. It's just a lot of flexibility, mobility work.
Okay.
I do swim practice.
Where do you get this? Is this like
it's an app?
Thing,
it's you can find this guy Ben something. I forgot his last name, but I can't. It's the best. It's like $40 a month. It's not cheap as far as like a recurring thing, but the app's phenomenal. It has video of every single thing you do, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything. They just work for older guys. Like I've gotten my mobility and flexibility. And I'm only halfway or even a quarter way where I want to go. There's a lot of back stuff that I want to be able to do. I was just working on my knees and flexibility.
Oh, all right. That sounds awesome, man.
It is awesome.
I mean, that to me, like half the battle at this age is like injury prevention.
Yes,
right? You like keep yourself in the game.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's like exactly up that alley.
And it's knees. So there's knees, back, and then there's all kinds of other workouts you can do, but you can do specific, like a whole knee workout. And it's all these minor movements, tibius raises and calf things and these Poliquin step up, all this shit I never heard of, but it all works and it's all great. And so I do those Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I have swim practice Tuesday night. The only days I do, not including like playing basketball with my kids and doing all that kind of stuff, the only days I have scheduled double sessions because I'm not like crazy with all the stuff is the Tuesday, Thursdays where I do the legs early, like 7 in the morning. And then I'll do my swim practice is 6:30 to 7:30 at night. And then early. So I do those two. Wednesday is more of like a circuit day work, just kind of like a jump rope, slam ball. I'll do arms because I always like doing arms. So I'll finish with a half hour of like supersets, biceps, triceps, because I do those other 2 leg days and I'm not going to have overtrained chest and shoulders anymore. It used to be, my Wednesday used to be the same thing as Monday, just 2 heavy days. So I pulled that back. Thursday, again, I do the legs in the morning and then practice at night. Friday morning, I play basketball with my brother, just locked in every Friday morning, 7:30, 7:15, 7:45 to 9. We have a hoop right between us we play at. And then Saturday, I'll do very light. My kids want to go swimming. I'll take them to the pool. I'll do the leg, like an truncated version of leg workout, 15, 20 minutes. Just to have it. But I try to do that as my rest day because for me, our Sunday morning swim is a long course. So it's 50-meter practice and it's like an hour and a half and it's a beast. So I try to chill Saturday. But as you know, like when school stuff starts, that's when we have football. Like end up being out and about, not really, off my feet. So that's my weekly break.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. I love that overview. I love how kind of like multifaceted it is. I like that that you've brought in like this like competitive element to it with the taking up the swimming again. I think
it's awesome.
We probably all have lots of friends who have been like great athletes in the past, and like you said, like people have just like kind of let it go. And so I think it's awesome to get back involved. I mean, I think like in reality, like I look at a bunch of my friends and I'm like, okay, like a bunch of guys like played football or some other sports that may be like tougher to pick up again, like in your mid 40s or whatever. But like I've been playing like a decent bit of pickleball. I've been adding in some competitive elements, including golf, like getting involved in some golf tournaments.
Good.
And like, I mean, all this stuff requires a certain amount of physical ability, but it also is like, there's something really cool about at this age, just being able to stay like in the arena, so to speak, and stay like competitive. And I 100% agree. Like having something to train for makes all this stuff so much more fun.
Yeah.
Right?
It allows you, we have such a goofy world now that no previous generation of that squeeze generation that we have of being a dad our age, where your parents, if you're lucky enough, are still around, or your in-laws or whatever, but you also have your kids at home, like that ever. No other generation had it where it was all like documented online. You never saw all these people crushing it or sucking. Like you saw your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Whereas now you could be like, I'm 47 and you're like, I'm doing okay. And then you'll see some dude who does 7 Ironmans a year.
Yeah, you're right.
58.
You're right.
And you're like,
yeah.
oh, shit, there's that. And then
Yep.
you just go to the mall and see 17 fat dudes who are, 37 who look 52 because they're, 100 pounds overweight. Right. So like you kind of see more of the extremes than you probably normally would. But I think the ability now, to really track and train for stuff. I love having a meet 2 or 3 months out or a few months out that I'm training for. I love having times, right? Like I was doing pretty good with like, okay, this year I'm going to try to bench this, or I picked up 5Ks for a while. I hate running, but even that was good. I would sign up for stuff in advance, and that from a practical standpoint, if anyone's listening, it's like, well, this all sounds good. It's like the first thing to do is sign up for shit.
Yeah.
Like now, like I already know, I look at my calendar. There's a meet at the end of August. I have one in September. There's one in October. I have 4 coming up, 1 per month, basically, that I have different goals for butterfly. And then, for swimming is different because you really are your base. So you get on the block. It's like track, basically. It's not like a run where, 5Ks, you kind of just get lost in this blob of people running.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last year I did a couple triathlons, same thing. Like you're just going against the time.
Yeah.
I love the racing element. I love one-on-one basketball. I love, even when we play tennis, sometimes I'll play with some friends or my brother. My wife's not good, so it's not everything count. Like
I played with my daughter yesterday, and I realized I completely suck at tennis. Actually,
yeah, it's never been my sport.
I'm pretty good at. I'm okay at pickleball. I'm like getting better at pickleball, but I'm like, wow, I really suck at tennis.
Yeah, it's a hard sport, but the idea of like the score matters. There's maybe a medal at the end, or for me for swimming, there's like, I know in practice what my splits are. I know where I'm at. I know what I want to be. Yeah. And I think the most, other than the physical elements, which are obviously sort of undeniably great as you get older, the ability to singularly focus on something for you, number one, as a guy our age, not for your wife, not for your kids, not for your job, for you, that you enjoy, that you get fulfillment out of, is huge. And the ability to, nothing else matters. The ability to block out. I'm not on my phone. I'm not like, swimming's great inherently because I can't bring anything. I mean, I make fun of this one guy. He's got an Apple Watch and a Whoop and all this bullshit. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, you're ruining every set. He's like looking at his heart rate, and I'm like, dude, I always joke with him. He's like 52, 53.
Yeah.
He's in amazing shape. But it's not fun. I always say, I'm like, you're aiming for zone, like, just do the workout. Like, this is a break from all that stuff.
All right. That's probably me. I'm probably guilty of being that guy because I'm all device stuff.
Yeah, I know. And I get it. But I'm like, why don't you do one practice a week without everything, or one with it? But
makes sense.
You touch the clock on swimming and like, okay, I'm just making up a set, 12 50s on 50 seconds or something, and you finish at 38. You should be working hard enough where you need that 12 seconds to recover. And this dude's like, I'm up to one heart rate. Okay. Trying to get a water. And I'm like, dude, just enjoy the work.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, I love I love the idea of, or I am like super competitive, and like if I play pickleball with a bunch of other dads, like I love it. Like we play for like 2 hours, and it's actually a great workout. Like speaking of like zone 2 and all the stuff, like I have a Whoop, and like I'll wear a Whoop and I'll go for a run and it'll suck. And I'll be like, oh, I really hate this. And then I'll go play pickleball for like 2 hours, and I'll have a blast, and I'll be like literally like screaming at the top of my lungs, like, like when we lose points or win points or whatever. And then I'll look at my Whoop afterwards, and it's like, you basically telling me I got a better workout than like when I went for a run. I'm like, God damn, I'm going to do that. So like, I want to like work more of that into my schedule. And then like on the competitive side, like I played in this member, last like probably 3 or 4 years, I've played in this member golf tournament. It's usually like end of May, early June. And like with little kids, like I haven't played as much golf as I would have liked in recent years, but like this gives me something to like get up for. And so like starting in February, I'll like start playing more. I'll be at the range more. I'll start dialing it in. And it's funny because I always like go into this thing with like a really high handicap, but like a game that is like dialed in because I prepared for it. And all the other dudes are like, what is this BS, dude? Like,
Yeah.
and so, but it's like fully like 2 full days of like you said, like put the phone away,
You're
put
focused on
everything else
something.
away, and it is just locked in on competition, and
Mhm.
it's awesome, so fun.
It's the best, man. I've been golfing more. My dad, I live near my parents, lucky enough to, and they're both doing well. My dad golfs 2, 3 days a week, and one of the courses he plays at is a mile away. So we try to get out at least once a week or once every other week. I'm not good. He was good. Now he's just getting old, but like, I don't even power and stuff. He used to shoot. He used to be like a 5 or 6 handicap. Now he's
Yeah,
much more in the high 80s, but it's only because his drives are only now like 190. He's just
yeah,
he's
yeah,
75, 76, and I've just been doing it. I used to do it just to do something to more of like it's a great way to spend after with him. My brother's better than I am at that. Also, will play. But I'm in Florida, right? You can play you can play all year round and play anytime. Like,
yeah.
and so I've tried more. It's more of a social thing for me. We're taking my dad for his birthday to Stream Song. I'm sure you like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
So we're going there for 2 days in the middle of August, me, my dad, my
Awesome.
brother. And I'm good enough. I went play with two of my nephews and my brother. We played on Sunday. And you have those runs when you're where I'm at, which is not good, where you're like, you'll do pick up. We don't really pick up anymore. It's just sort of like I'll just get like an 8 or whatever it is. But then I'll have like a par,
Yeah,
bogey, birdie. And it's like, oh shit, I know how to play golf. And then you blow
yeah.
up again and whatever. And I was saying, my one nephew is like, you should just like practice. And I was like, yeah, but I'm never going to not go to swim practice to go to the range.
Well,
Like
I was gonna
that,
say that's like
I'm
part
at
of
where
the
I'm
whole.
at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's like part of the whole like figuring out this puzzle of like
Choose what
balance.
yeah. I'm good enough. I don't embarrass myself.
Yep.
Shoot 104, fine. Man, 98 maybe if I blow up 110, but I'm not good. I
Yep.
accept that I'm not good. I have no shame in like, yeah, this isn't my hole. I'm not going to hold everybody
Yeah,
up.
yeah. But you're also not going to get like super pissed at yourself for like
Yeah, I do.
getting
That's where you say like I say that. I'll say that right now. But then on that time where like I look and I'll look at like a front 9 or something and I'm like, oh wow, like 4-0. This is crazy. I don't know why I'm playing like this. Then
Like,
then I start
actually, I
blowing
might be the
up.
greatest golfer of all time.
Yeah,
now
I
that
can't
think
believe
about
it. And then I'll do that what always happens with guys my level, which is, all it takes is one in the water, another out of bounds, and then a 4 putt, and then you're like, great. So now I'm just
The
going
wheels
8s
are off.
all over the
Yeah,
place,
yeah,
snowman
yeah.
in a row. I hate this sport. So
Yep.
I try to stay relaxed with it, but all of that is to say, like, it's about choices. Like, yes, I'm pretty sure with my general athletic ability, if I went to a range twice a week and was able to get on the course even once on a Sunday, I could probably shoot the low 90s, let's say, regularly.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can. I see 10 shots every time I play that I can take off just by not being a dumbass.
Yeah. Yes.
But I don't think I would get much better than that
Mhm.
without really like giving up all the other things I like to do, which I don't want to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing. I have a similar kind of thing. Like I'd put golf higher up the rung for me than it sounds like it is for you, but it's still not like I, live in a neighborhood that's like where we live on a golf course, and like a lot of the guys around here are like, they play twice a weekend. It is like, it's basically like their job, and they're good. Like a lot of them are like scratch or like single digit. But it is like, okay, you're probably not coaching your kid's baseball team or whatever it is. It's just choices,
I have been able to do some 9-hole, which I think is the compromise for guys like me. If I really wanted to play a little more, I've told my dad, like, look, I'm not taking 5.5 hours on every Saturday. I like doing other things. I like going to the beach. It doesn't have to be like I'm working out. I like just doing other things.
Yeah.
But I'll play 9 holes on a Thursday afternoon if I can.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw 2.5 hours down. And so that we've been doing more of, not like a regular thing, but if it's an opportunity to not play at all or like, let's try to get 9 holes in, I've been doing that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean we have something called the Thursday Night Men's League here, which is like perfect for that. It's 9 holes, and it is you go out at like 5 or 6 p.m. and and they have like different formats every week. So sometimes you're playing like a scramble, sometimes you're just playing your own ball, partner, single, like
That's really
so
cool.
it's pretty fun. That's like an actual like reasonable way for me to get out.
That sounds great. That's kind of exactly what I would want.
Yeah. All right, cool. I want to move along because I'm doing a terrible job managing the getting through all the topics that I was hoping to get through. But let's talk just a little bit about relationships, that whole kind of vertical side of thing. We don't need to go too deep into it, but I would say like one thing I like that you do is I think you do a great job of capturing like almost like the nostalgia in a lot of ways of obviously you're known for writing a ton of great content about what it was like being kids are from our generation. You wrote a whole book that's viewers might be able to see over my shoulder called 1996, which is amazing, about the year that we graduated high school and everything that was going on in the world of sports that year. And but one of the cool things that I think you do is you kind of capture the way a lot of us dads feel about raising our kids and some of the moments. And like you wrote an article recently that was like about the last bike ride to school with your son. So I don't know. Tell me a little bit about that. I don't know if you have like an quote unquote overall parenting philosophy or anything like that, but I don't know what comes to mind with all that.
Yeah. I definitely I don't have never really put down a philosophy parenting wise. I think it sounds goofy when you even say it out loud, but like I just want to be the best dad that my kids can have, and my kids, because every kids are different. The things that might be great for your kids or mine are totally different. It's different than anything I thought I would want to be as a dad. I have a boy and a girl. They're beyond different individually in terms of what they like to do and their personalities. My son over the last 3 or 4 years has really evolved into a smaller version of me and what I used to like, and his humor.
Yes.
It's just easy. It's just like, I know. And it's funny. My dad used to say this to me, and I used to think he was full of shit, but he used to say to me, like, especially when I hit like 12, 13, 14, he'd be like, I can look at you when you're frustrated or when you're doing something, and I know what you're thinking because I thought it when my parents said it. I thought it in certain seasons, not all the time, but there's a lot of times where I'm like, I just know because I can snap my mind back to being that age, and we think alike. We have the same thoughts on a lot of things. And, at the time, I'm like, whatever, man. Like, how do you know? You're not in my head, the stupid things we say.
Yep.
And now my son's at that age, and I find myself, I mean, he has a great, great sense of humor. He's very chill, like I mentioned earlier, like I am. But I can tell his opinions on stuff and the things and the way he goes about his business and the way he likes sports and entertainment. And just he tries to be clever, like early on, which is the stuff that I love. And so my version of being the best dad for him is very much rolling through, like, I understand that you actually think nothing matters and everything's whatever, because I was that way. And so it's steering him. He's a way better student than me, thankfully. He's much smarter than I was at his age. But so for him, it's a lot of more kind of funneling, that attitude, and where is this successful? I wasted a lot of years fighting who I was, and I'll go into business, and none of those things meant, it was just a stupid idea. I went to the wrong school probably as much as I enjoyed my college. Like I had no reason to go there. I just picked it. It was not good. I was an econ, like me in economics. Like we just picked stuff because our guidance counselor said stuff. And then
who knows? It's crazy. At like 17
and
years old, you're supposed to try to pick something.
Yes. And so my son's 12, so it's a lot of just like pushing him towards his strength, getting him to try new things. Yeah. Whereas my daughter, the things that I think it requires me to be a good father to her are entirely different. It's like night and day for those, anyone listening who has daughters. And it is, I always say, like, people like so bad on like stereotyping now, but like, and maybe there's extremes, but like I used to joke that like people, kids can play with whatever toys. And I'm like, my son would have crawled through 7 miles of dolls to get to like a Matchbox car. And my daughter would have crawled through 50 miles of Matchbox cars to get to a doll. Like they're just, they're the most quintessential, like, she's into like the fashion and the nails and the going to mall with her friend, all the things that if you just wrote down, what are 14-year-old girls into? Which is not, what I'm into. So
Yes.
for her, for my son, it's so easy to like, let's shoot hoops. Like, that's a great afternoon. We're getting together. Let's go get some ice cream after that. My daughter, it's more of like, let's go walk around the mall with you, or she's not an athlete, even though I've coached her stuff. So what does she actually like to do, right? It's like, well, let's get her to go on more walks. Like, she likes volleyball, so I'll take her to volleyball clinics and working on that kind of stuff. And it's more of a process. And she likes to bake, right? So it's like, okay, let's bacon, banana bread in an afternoon. Like, it's just, I'm talking about the specific activities, but the philosophy, meaning they each need different stuff. So I have to be, your dad, father figure, rules, all the stuff. But in the relationship side, which you asked, I found myself really intentionally thinking like, what does my daughter need of me to have that good relationship so that we have a foster it? What can we talk about? She's a lot more, she likes quiet times to talk. She doesn't want to talk shooting hoops or whatever. She wants to like sit down and get a decaf coffee and just talk, and if my son's being a jackass, I can arm wrestle him or, do something really fast and make him laugh and it's over. Whereas my daughter, it's like I'm sitting on the proverbial foot of her bed for 40 minutes listening to her talk about her friend did this and another friend did that. And it's being whatever they each need in terms of being a father. And that's very hard, frankly. It would be easy if I had two of my sons. I think it'd be easier, but in ways harder because I couldn't think outside of that, which is my wife has that issue of like, how do you get into that? Right. I'm not going to shoot her. Like, and she does. So come on and do stuff with us. But for me personally, it's adapting to each kid to what they need to be the best dad. And that's why I'm not just saying it as some cliche thing. I mean, like, intentionally thinking like, what does my daughter need of me? And what does my son need of me? And recognizing that they're obviously like polar opposites most of the time.
Yeah. I can relate to almost everything you just said because I have, well, first of all, I kind of think just being there, like physically being there is very important. And so like, I've tried to like structure my life so that I'm just around, that, because it's like, it's in my mind, it's not all about like the big, the big baseball game or the big, tennis match or whatever. Yeah. It's just like being around, and wanting to have being able to develop like a strong enough relationship with your kid that they feel like they can talk to you, that they feel like once they're an adult, you still want to have a close relationship. All that kind of stuff is probably every parent wants, So like for me, I totally agree with you. Like, and maybe it's stereotyping, maybe it's just the norm or whatever. But like my boys are both. As a dad, it's super easy. It's like my oldest son loves the Red Sox. Like we can just sit and watch
Obviously
the Red Sox.
A very smart guy, yeah.
And we just can BS about the Reds. And that's actually a separate topic. And I think you've probably written about this before, but like, it's a cool thing for dads and sons to have that bond. It's like,
yes,
there's not, like I used to just sit and, even if I was, really having a problem with my parents when I was 15 or 16 years old or whatever, we could still sit and like
watch
I could still shoot and shit with my dad about the Red Sox or like UConn basketball or something like that. So that's super easy. Same thing. Like I can take my son out golfing. Even my 5-year-old wants to come out golfing, wants to play every sport with me and everything like that. With my daughter, I think it's very similar. So she's like the middle child. We have to be, I have recently been like, okay, this girl's getting older. She's getting more mature. She's 11 now. And you can start to see that like, the teenage version of her coming. And I'm like, I kind of want to like get in front of this and like make an effort because she doesn't want to come play golf with me. She doesn't care about the Red Sox. So like what she and I like sat down recently, I was like, let's make a list of like things that you and I could do together.
You have to do that.
It was like a lot of the same stuff you just mentioned. It was like, and this is why we just went and played tennis yesterday. Like, because it's like, we could go play tennis together. We can go take a class together. We can go, have lunch together at a different restaurant, you know, like, and it's not honestly stuff that's going to happen every day or every week, but like, is it reasonable to like do like an hour a month with my daughter that would like, is like investing time with her to like make her feel like she has a really tight relationship with her dad? Like, yeah. So that's kind of
Yeah,
what
I
how
do
I'm
regular,
focusing on.
like, I started having my, and again, not every night, especially when school starts, but I walk my dog most nights. And I was like, why don't you just come with me? Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Just us.
Yeah.
It's nothing big, just 20 minutes around the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's funny because like then all of a sudden my son wants to come. I'm like, no, dude, this is
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is our
Yeah. Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And the difference is like what you said. If my son came with me, when he'll do it, you know, randomly anyway, and it's like we'll talk about Superman for an hour, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
My daughter, we could leave the house and she'll start telling me about something with her friends, and I don't speak. We'll get back to the house. She has just
Yeah.
kept going.
Right.
That is just so crazy to me. Like
Yeah.
I just was there. It was great to give me a hug even afterwards. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
I think I provided what I was supposed to, but yeah, I didn't say anything. And it's just a different, you know, your daughter's 11 months, 14, so like she's into like the boys and all these things. And this one said this and her friend said that.
Yeah.
And you just, like you said, being there is so important. And we were just talking to my brother about it, and you'll probably understand this from the generation we are. Like, I work from home, you're able to be home a lot. My brother works from home. The summers are like, we're all just around. I mean, my kid, they're here. They're not here today, actually, my in-laws, but like they're here most days just around doing whatever they want to do. I have lunch with them every day. I make sure I go for a bike ride with them. My son and I will play basketball. Like I build in little times so that I don't just, every Tuesday, Thursday, actually, in the summer, I mentioned the swimming. They actually come with me in the morning. I'll switch it. I'll do the legs at night and they come with me. My daughter loves to swim. She's not like a good swimmer. She was on a team a long time ago, but she likes it. So I take her and my niece, who's actually a phenomenal swimmer at 9 years old. My sister-in-law drops her off at the pool. I put us through a workout. We go to lunch.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice, so I build those times.
Cool. Yeah.
But the point is, like, I was joking with my brother. I was like we're like our dads, like we were over the summer. My dad traveled 4 days a week most of my life. Summer,
Mm-hmm.
not summer.
Mm-hmm.
When summer came, I saw him. It felt like I saw him less because I was home all the time, and he was gone Monday to Thursday night, traveling the country doing what he did.
Got it.
Come home Friday. Then he actually did golf Saturday, Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to see him, we went there and did all that stuff. And I have a great relationship with him, but he wasn't what I would say around in terms of he was home. We had a good relationship. We watched Red Sox. We did all that.
Yep.
But our kids are growing up. We're just like, we're a fixture. Like I take my kids to school. My wife goes to work 6 o'clock every morning, and I'm the one who takes kids to the bus stop. I'm the one who's been home with them forever. They come home to the school. They come home from school to me.
Yeah.
So the amount of time, we were joking, like it's got to be 1,000 times more time I've spent with my kids than almost any dad of our generation, period. Not just not calling it mine.
Yeah.
And I think that's great in a lot of ways. It's just so different.
Yeah.
My kids can't picture, like, when I go on a trip, I had to go on this trip. I mentioned New Jersey, but I had a work trip for like 3 days before that. It is just weird. Like me not being here for 3 days, like the whole house is strange. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. No, that's awesome that you're able to do that. All right, cool. I'm going to transition to career because I don't want to keep you here all day, but, so I'm going to probably skip through some of the stuff I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah, I have a little bit more time, so I have to like maybe 15.
Well, let me ask you this before we talk about career. Let me ask you this: vacations. And this is just like purely selfish. Like where I feel like you're a master vacation planner. I think I've asked you for your itineraries before.
Yeah, a couple of times.
I don't know which ones I asked you for, but like, did you do Jackson Hole?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think
I
I asked you for that one. We did Jackson Hole last summer and like Yellowstone and all that. It was freaking awesome. Best. It was probably like my favorite vacation because it was like the anti theme park, just like being out in nature,
great.
seeing
my favorite
things.
one too.
Yeah. But talk to me about your recent Northeast trip because I'm about to embark on one myself.
Yeah, my superpower here is my wife. Honestly,
Okay.
I explain what I would like to do. You're on the same. Obviously, when you're married over time, like you agree on stuff, disagree on stuff, but like you agree on the big things. And one of the big things we've always agreed on is doing awesome shit with the kids over the summer. Like just this is when they're home. This is what we're gonna do. We go skiing every spring break to a different, to like a different mountain, or usually it would be Beaver Creek or whatever. But the summers we were going to do something like a signature vacation, and then we do a big signature trip, and then like a local drive somewhere for like 5 days.
Yeah,
because Florida has a lot to do. And we've actually extended that. We did Hilton Head one year. We've done other things. So it's within like 6-8 hours of driving.
Yeah.
I've always used to just be jealous kids who like would do the national parks. When I was a kid, it was like, you'd hear someone come back and be like, I was in Moab. And I'd be like, what is Moab? You know, we didn't have the internet, you know, like I was in Yosemite or I was hiking the Continental Divide. To me, this was like, because we just didn't do those trips.
Oh, I didn't do those trips either. We went to Cape Cod and that was it. And I'd have kids come back like, coming back with like the braids from Aruba and from spring break.
I'm like,
what even is spring break?
We went to Florida to visit my grandparents. That was our summer vacation.
I was like, I thought spring break was something you do in college. We're in like elementary school. What's going on here?
We just didn't do that. So the themes, when we lived in Texas, it was a little different because we didn't live at the beach. So we used to do like, when the kids were really little, we did like a beach town, Rosemary Beach or whatever it was. And once they got able to like hike, basically once your kids can hike, I'd say like 5, your son's probably like at that around age where you can actually be like, we're going to be gone all day and you don't need to eat no diapers. You don't need to eat, like, you're good. Like you don't eat snacks every 5 seconds.
We did it with him when he was 4 last year at Jackson Hole. And we did some like reasonable, like multiple mile hikes. And he was like,
it's good. Yeah.
He kept up. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was our plan. So it was like living in Florida, like getting out of here, going to the mountains, different feel for everybody, and hitting up some cities that like aren't the South, you know, where we are. Because we're obviously Miami, you know, Tampa, like this is, Florida's a big state. And we were in Dallas. So they got to do Houston, they got to do Dallas, so they saw a good part of that. So to do those trips, you need like 10 days. Like you need to really plan it out. And like you go in and decide, like, so we did Jackson Hole, we did Keystone one year, we did the Continental Divide and whitewater rafting. And we went all the way down to like these crazy ass towns in, you know, Colorado to do whitewater rafting, and you hike up the mountain and do all that stuff. Then we did Banff and Calgary and Waterton and Montana. So we've done a lot of these. Every summer we picked a different one. Yeah. And then this summer we did, it was funny, actually, after last summer, which was really one of the better, Calgary, which we did. I'd never been to Calgary, like really beautiful city. Actually, we got to go to Calgary Stampede just randomly when we were looking at the trips. It was like, oh, if we just reverse the weekends, like we can actually go to the Calgary, like the famous Calgary Stampede, which is really fun. Although the Texas State Fair, having done that already, lived there, it like dwarfs, like it's so much bigger than the Calgary Stampede, but it was fun. We did the rodeo and all that. And then we did the Glacier Walk and Banff, which is like maybe the greatest place ever to be, ever. Like I can't even
never
believe
been,
there's a place
but I've
like
seen
that.
pictures.
It's just
amazing.
the hiking and the rivers and the fishing and then the restaurants, and it's just gorgeous. Like the perfect get up, do a 3-mile walk with your cup of coffee, get back, hike somewhere else, go do something. They have 2 beautiful golf courses. I didn't know they even had. I didn't build any time in there. But I always say if we go back, like one of those is like one of those over the mountains, everything.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It just
Mountain
looks
golf
like,
is awesome.
Yeah. It looks amazing. And then when we got home from that, speaking of the Red Sox, it was like last year we did it. And then the years were going through, my son was like, you know, I've never even been to Boston. And, you know, it's so funny. I grew up in the Northeast, so I take for granted that like everything. I grew up in the North. I grew up in Boston. We moved to Jersey. So New York City and Boston were like second nature to me. We're in them all the time. I don't know how many countless Red Sox games, 15, 20 a year. Then we moved to New York. So I don't know, same with Yankee games. We take the train in with my friends. And my kids grew up in Florida and Dallas, like never been. So I took him to Philly for WrestleMania last year. So we got to see one Northeast city. We did a lot when we were there. Yeah. So I was like telling my wife, I was like, they've never been to Boston. Like, this is crazy. Like, how have they never been? So we decided to plan like a full, like, it was like a 9-day. So we went into Boston for a day, we flew right into Boston, like early in the morning. We did the duck boat tours, which were just so awesome for kids, even both my kids. Then we went up and took a walk through, you know, like all the way up Boylston Street, like through the Boston Common, the Botanical Garden, like went up to Quincy Market, had a full like dinner. It was amazing. Got home, or back to the hotel. So Copley Square is where I always assumed was like the best place to stay. You could walk everywhere from there. And then the next day we went up and did the North End, and which is my favorite, with Mike's Pastries and all like the stuff, the pizzeria, like all the places I grew up going to. And then we did Fenway, which was just the greatest. It was my daughter's birthday. I got her name on the scoreboard. Like,
awesome. Cool.
Just it ruled. And then the next morning, which I'd never done living there, funny enough, we took like the Peter Pan bus from Boston. So I didn't feel like renting a car, down to Hyannisport. And then we went to Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket for 4 days, and then took that intra-island ferry to Edgerton to Martha's Vineyard, and then Martha's Vineyard for 3 back to Boston. One day left in Boston. We did Harvard and all that stuff. We stayed up in Cambridge because the kids hadn't done that.
Yep.
And basically in like 8 days, not that I did my whole childhood, but like they finally saw.
Yes.
We didn't go to my hometown, which was like 40 minutes, west.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they were like, oh, this is a city. This is why you love it so much. You can walk everywhere, and there's a million places to eat, and Fenway is awesome, and Nantucket rules. You just bike across the whole island, and all the food is good, and there's ice cream, and there's canoes, and like it was just great. So that was our trip.
I love it. Nice. I love Boston. I've lived there a couple times in my life, and like I said, we are huge Red Sox fans in this family. I got my
Well, we saw Roman Anthony's first game.
Got my Fenway.
Dude, it was, tell yourselves, bro, it was actually.
Oh yeah,
it just
I remember that game
be,
actually. Yeah,
we were driving in. We were taking the cab into the hotel, which we were obviously walked to the game.
Yeah,
and I saw like on Twitter like they're gonna call up Roman Anthony tonight, and I was like, tonight?
Yeah,
no
Roman
way. I told my son, and he's like, I was like, dude. And we were sitting at the game. I just splurged for like awesome seats right behind the Sauce dugout. So I video like 8 seats away of Roman Anthony coming up for first at bat. Place going crazy. And I was like, if he's like Mickey Mantle, like you were here, we were at his first at bat. So it was really cool.
He's the #1 prospect in baseball.
And then they traded Devers like 4 nights later, and we were there. So I was telling my dad, I was like, it's so funny when these big moments happen in Boston. We're in Florida, you're in Carolina. Like, you don't really get the feel of the town. You read on Twitter. Yeah. But man, it was so cool to be there for like a moment. Every single person, from like the person behind the desk at the hotel to the guy getting pizza to just, you overhear people walking. It's Devers, Red Sox. Like, it's so nice. Like, I really, my son even mentioned, he's like, it's kind of cool, like living in the town where your sport team is. And I was like, it really is. You're never like, he became a Cowboys fan when we lived there.
Yeah.
And he got a taste of that. And he was a Rangers fan when we lived there, and he got a taste of that. We went to a ton of Rangers. We only lived 15 minutes from Marlin Stadium, so we probably went to 15, 20 games a year. So he got a feel for it, but he was still younger. He was only like 8. Now he's like, man, it would be so cool to be in the town that you're rooting for and go to home games all the time. So they do miss that.
That is interesting. We got a little bit of that in Charlotte where my son's grown up as a Panthers fan and,
That's cool.
and as a Hornets fan. They both have kind of stunk, but they're both like possibly about to get good. So that could be interesting. I'm like, I hope they get good for like your high school years. Like that would be kind of cool.
All your friends go to games together. Yeah, you want them to enjoy.
Yeah. So anyways, well, we're about to embark on our Northeast trip. We're driving from Charlotte. So we're going to hit Hershey Park.
Oh, there you go. We're
going to hit TBD, but we might hit the Poconos. My wife thinks it's too trashy. But I was like, kids are gonna.
I've heard very similar things to
I
haven't
don't
been
know.
since I was a kid.
That's a TBD, but like they have like water parks with like crazy slides and stuff like that. And I'm like, if you and I were going, I agree. But like these kids will like love it probably.
Water parks are.
A couple of days in Boston, and then we're spending like 4 nights in Cape Cod, and then we might hit. I did a beach house out in Montauk in the Hamptons for a few years when I lived in New York City. Yeah. And I love like that. I love Montauk. So we might go out there for a couple of days. So anyways, about to do that. All right. Last topic, and then we'll get you out of here. Career. We haven't even talked about all of the awesome things that you do all the time, but just tell me like quickly, like maybe how you think about your career. I almost think about, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I almost think about like, you've done a nice job, like taking like what I would call like a portfolio approach maybe to your career, where you have a bunch of different things going on. But tell me about some of the more interesting things that you've kind of got going on these days.
Yeah, I'd say that's definitely accurate. I just never want to be beholden to like a boss in a place. And it takes a while. Everybody says that. And it wasn't until in my early 40s I was able to kind of realize that, of just sort of, all right, I have enough stuff. Right? I don't need the main thing is sort of a few different things. And so I can focus on the things I'm really excited about. So I think you see, me and my friend Greg Chimon launched this Midlife Male brand that I've been thinking of doing a version of for really since I left. Like I used to write for Men's Health and Muscle and Fitness and Men's Fitness for a very long time. That was like my print career till I was in my early 30s. And I just always thought there was another, as I got older, and the how to have a hangover cure article and the the 6-minute ads for the summer and all these things which still matter, but like I'm not going to read that stuff now. It's all for like guys in their 20s and how to throw the perfect bachelor party. I'm past that at this point.
Hope so.
I remember it all, but like it's just not for me. I've always felt there was a gap, and Greg had felt the same way, and so he had started this Midlife Male book and kind of this movement, and he had approached me a while back. We've been friends for a long time, but like, what if we there's no brand for dudes over 40 in media, writing the things we write about, talking about the things we want to talk about. We have came up with they're called our 6 F's, like fitness, family, finance, fashion, fun, food, some other stuff. And that's where I've decided to put a lot of my focus on, is like building that brand, making it the next super the brand that people go to, the go-to brand for guys over 40. So that's something that I want.
What do you need the fashion for? I thought fashion was just get jacked and wear
He's
media.
a big fashion guy. I agree.
Okay.
I always say, like, it's very simple. Just get jacked and wear medium shirt. Fashion's done. Throw on a hat too. But some guys, as they make it in life, enjoy hearing about the best cut V-neck T-shirt and the Birkenstocks you should wear with this watch. And listen, those articles frankly do very, very well. So I've acquiesced. Like, let's go do all that stuff. And so that's one of the big things I wanted. The building things that you own is really a theme that I've had. Obviously, every book you write, you own. But even more so is building the Meathead Media imprint. So I have books that I put out just under my name that I do for that. Books and Biceps, which I've done now for 7 or 8 years, which is my personal newsletter every Friday, recommending a book and a workout and some other just kind of meatheady stuff, was basically so that every time I put out a new book, I wasn't starting from scratch with readership. Like, it was really very simple. It's like, okay, so if I put out a Charlie Ward biography, Amazon doesn't give you a list of names to then sell your next book to. It's like really kind of frustrating in the modern tech era that you can't do all these things. So the natural extension of that is, okay, well, everybody who's getting it, at least as much as I can try on social media, like, sign up for this newsletter. I recommend 50 weeks a year. I recommend other people's books, but for 2, I'm going to recommend my new books. So it is that. It's owning assets. So I own Books and Biceps. It makes money with some advertising. I also can promote any of my own books on there. It's a very low lift. It's very important to me, but it's basically within the context of my life. It's here's what book I'm reading. Here's a couple cool things I found. Here's an article I might have written or whatever. And then a promotion, I put out once or twice a year. Like, we just did this endurance challenge where I take a book and break it up into 30 days, 10 pages a day with a workout that coincides with it every day. Just read more, lift more challenge, sell that. I own it completely forever. And you do those things every quarter, basically, for revenue. And then launching Midlife Male, which is like a huge play that I'm putting most of my time in with Greg to really make.
Now, is that a print magazine or digital magazine?
It's a newsletter. We just passed 20,000 readers. We've got a bunch of big sponsors on board now.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to have our first in-person retreat in Miami. Not a retreat, we're calling them actually Excellent Adventures. Excellent Adventure in Miami coming up in October. Like,
what is that going to be?
It's awesome, dude. It's so we got a signature sunrise ruck. So we got like Go Ruck sending all these rucks. So
dude, 5 a.m. I'm on board with that.
So it's 5 a.m. We're getting up on South Beach before the sun comes up and doing a 5K ruck and back across, just basically on the sand. Just get up, ruck on the sand with sunrise at South Beach, something you'd never do. We have a dinner at Joe Stone Crab, and then this guy Mark Megna, who used to be in the NFL, runs this big anatomy gym down there. He's going to come put everybody through a workout on the beach on Saturday, get to use his cold plunge facilities. And it's like a really tight group. I'll send it to you if you like, of like, here's what it is. Here's who's going. Very like entrepreneurial, very
nice,
good dudes, but also there's nothing else. It's just to do something cool. There's no speakers or bullshit relationship things.
That is interesting.
It's just for guys.
Yeah. I've had two thoughts along those lines. One is, I've recently, and this may be related to, like, I love reading books about like these like epic adventures. Like, we've traded messages before about like In the Heart of the Sea and like, endurance and like, or, like some of these like just classic like voyage adventure type stuff. And like, I think some of that's missing from like the lives of like your typical like middle-aged guys these days. So
totally.
So part of me is like, I want to like go do something kick ass. Like I want to go do like small group of guys like go like climb some mountain or like go on some like whitewater rafting adventure. Let's like
That's what we're
physically
partnering.
strenuous.
You're
you
literally
know?
saying that's what we're doing. So
Okay.
we're the first one is this one.
Yeah.
Get up at 5 a.m., 5K along the beach, a rock, like something you like, what are you doing this weekend? Like, I'm flying to Miami,
Yeah.
like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning when it's dark, and we're going to hike to sunset on the beach, get awesome pictures, photos, like relax,
Yeah.
come back, breakfast. Like, that's the signature event in addition to like the cold plunge and the workouts or we're going to beach football or whatever. Just guys don't take weekends to do guy stuff, even with your own friends, right? It's like, you go so long to do it. And then there's this other event that we partner with, 29029. I don't know if you're familiar with them. It's called like an Everest challenge where they just did it in Jackson Hole, actually. So you have 36 hours to go to do 27,000 feet, right? So 29,000 feet, the equivalent of Mount Everest. So you have 36 hours, you go all night, all day, if you need a break or whatever to go. So it's 19 times up and 19 times down. And it's a huge event. You get a jacket and a hat and high class. It's really cool. So we're going to start partnering with those places to do that stuff too.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's basically for what you said, like reading the content stuff that we actually want to read and think about, and then also events and things that are just because guys don't do them, and they'd be cool. It's really
the other related thing I've kind of thought would be cool to do at some point is like you almost need like a weekend to like learn a bunch of like skills that would be helpful to have as a dad. Okay, like this is like less sexy, but like how to fix a toilet is 1 hour of your day. Changing a tire is another hour of your day. Like all this stuff is like, you know,
helpless dad camp. That's
yeah,
like
you should have learned at some point, but now you just paid some dude like $1,000
that
to
all
come to your house
depends.
and do it.
You can just blame your dad for that. That all depends on the kind of. I did not have a very handy father at all.
Yeah,
and I made it a point to be somewhat handy. So I can I can't like rewire a bathroom or something, but like those things that come up, almost any yard work, decking, all that stuff, I just learned how to do.
Yeah. I need to do a better job with that. I just like a couple of days ago, I just had a dehumidifier that went bad, and it's down in this crawl space I have underneath my house. And it's like, there's no stairs going down to it. And there's like a huge tarp thing. It's like this hill. I have this rope that I have to like hold on to get down there. Anyways, I was proud of myself because like this thing is probably, I don't know, it's probably like 100 pounds or something like that. And I'm like, all right, how am I going to do this? Like, I don't have my footing. So I tied this rope around it and I pulled it all the way up this hill. And I got to like this last second that I was stuck on something. I was like, I had to call my wife. I was like, hey, come out here. I just need you to help me get it over this one hump. And then like, I got it out of there. I was like bragging to my wife. I was like, they said we couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
They said we couldn't do that, but we did it. She's like, nobody said that. Nobody said anything about this.
Dude, it's because we're lacking modern dudes who aren't living out in the, in the rural
areas.
We're
lacking like these like challenges. So we need to create
physical challenges. We got to, we have to either create them or like I did last summer, I decided like redo our whole like front on my own. Like I wanted to build those cool, like, circular like brick things around the trees. I wanted to like dig in a hole, like put in like a whole flower gutter thing. Like I wanted to just new pavers. And it took like 2 weeks of like a bunch of different days. But damn it, like it's awesome. And I did it.
Now you're making me feel guilty because I'm paying people to do that stuff. So
I got the beauty. This is how beautiful things are here. So I always wanted to mow my own lawn just to teach the kids that like we're not just going to pay for like everything we need done. But mainly it was because when they hit 12 and 13, they're going to start mowing the lawn. And now I have reached the moment that I was waiting for, where I have my daughter does the front yard and my son does the back, and our lawn gets done, and I am not mowing it, and I am not paying for it.
Perfect. Oh, nice. There you go.
I just sit back with an iced tea, and I literally sit right over there with my son's in the back when he's sweating, and he listens to music. He doesn't even complain. This is what I used to do. And I'm like, this is it.
There you go. You made it. You cracked the code on that one. All right, man. Well, I could talk to you all day. I'd say everybody go check out Books and Biceps. I could have a whole separate conversation with you about books because I love talking about books that we're reading. I'm way down the Hampton sides rabbit hole right now, reading all his stuff.
Yeah,
man.
I read Wide, Wide Sea earlier in the summer. That was phenomenal.
That was very good. Very good. Read In the Kingdom of Ice.
I did
That's
that. Yeah, I read
freaking
that.
epic,
I think
dude.
I'll have to look. I think I've read all of his at this
Okay.
point. I think it's hard because, like you, I read these adventures and endurance, like which is actually the challenge this week and some others, and they do. It takes a minute to jog my memory because they're so harrowing, some of them, and I'll be like, oh, that was actually the one about the whatever, the Donner Pass, and it wasn't. They do
right.
the people freezing and almost dying and surviving stories kind of run into each other.
This one, and Kingdom of Ice. I just finished it. Like
that was
last week.
crazy.
And usually I like to read I love reading right before bed. I'll read 15, 20 pages,
That's
and
what
then
I do,
I'll sort of drift off to sleep or whatever. It's perfect. But this one, I was freaking white knuckling at the last chapter. I was like, oh my God, are these guys going to survive or not?
That's how it was with endurance. It's when he finally, when he makes a break for it to climb over the mountain at the end there, I'm like, oh my God. I got to keep going. Yeah. That's what a good book will do. And that's how it works. So,
well, for all of our listeners, if you're interested in good books, check out Jon's books. I mentioned 1996. I got the Macho Man.
I see Macho Man over your shoulder.
Right over my shoulder. That's published last year? Or was that the beginning of this year? Yeah. And then I know you're working on something new now, more of a fiction.
Yeah,
man versus bear situation.
Dude, this is gonna be the greatest thriller. I've wanted to move into fiction for so long. And through a couple different events with other book ideas after Macho that were just flying in the face of the publishing world these days and all the nonsense going on with the publishers and all that. I was like, I'm going to fiction. And it's a book about a man who fights a bear with no weapons, a fist to paw brawl to revenge his mom. And it is going to be awesome. I finished it. I mean, it sucks. It's I'm so excited and I'm editing and I'm going to actually record the audiobook myself, which I'm excited about.
Cool.
But it doesn't come out till October 2026, so we'll all have to wait till then.
Okay. You'll have to reread it before your big promotion and be like, all right, what did I write in this thing?
Yeah, I'm doing the recording of the audiobook in the studio at the end of August, so I'll get a lot of taste there to reread it. And then the big promotion will start.
It's exciting. Good job, man. Nice. Way to go. All right, man. Anything else you want to promote?
No, I appreciate it. Enjoy the New England trip, dude. It's so much fun to be back there.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being our first repeat guest. And the
two-time club.
Everything, man.
All right. Appreciate it. See it.
All right. There you go, folks. Jon Finkel. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. That was a really fun one for me. Really like connecting with Jon, and he's got so much cool stuff to say. He's got so much going on. I definitely picked up some tips. I'm immediately thinking about that knees over toes thing, and I've been already starting to look into different things I can do for mobility. So maybe I'll be writing a newsletter on that in the near future. But go check out Jon's stuff, his newsletter, his weekly newsletter, Books and Biceps. Is awesome, and everything he does is great. Go check out some of his books, and this Midlife Male project that he's got going on. If you're a middle-aged male, I think that could be something that you find interesting as well. I've actually been following Jon and his co-founder of that on LinkedIn and keeping up with them there, which is kind of random, but they do a good job posting about all that content there. So hope you enjoyed it. Go remember to subscribe to my newsletter, gregcampion.substack.com. Every week, intentional wisdom newsletter in your inbox. What could be better? I mean, that's it. We're just going to end it there. Thanks for listening as always, and I will talk to you next time.